Hi, this is my video about being unequally yoked. There seem to be like a lot of discussions about it these days, and so I just wanted to do a video on it because I found it interesting, because I know a lot of people run into it. I ran into it myself plenty of times. My advice on being unequally yoked is I wouldn't do it, although there have been some instances where people have dated people who believed in God but they weren't saved. My parents actually, my dad was not saved when my mom married him. He claimed to be saved, but he wasn't living the life. He wasn't doing it what he was supposed to. And my mom told me it took my dad 7 years to actually get saved and actually, be committed to God. So my advice is, they turned out great. Like, my dad treats her good, he takes care of her, he took care of us. He's actually my stepdad, but, I'm able to call him dad because he's always looked out for me, like, no matter what. So that's just how good of a man he was. Took care of somebody else's child like, I was his own. But anyways, my thing is, I would really look at their personality and their character or whatever, because one thing, if you don't agree, you cannot walk a path together if you do not agree. I know some people think, oh, if we get married, then everything would be okay, and if we get married and we have kids, oh, we'll be fine, we'll be good. But no, none of that goes away. The marriage happens, and it's, you're in la la land heaven for a couple of days or whatever, but then after that, the reality sets back in that it's either, yes, we do agree, we can walk this path together and conquer, or no, we don't agree, and we're gonna be, on two divided paths when it's supposed to be one path. We're supposed to be one. When you get married, you're one. And that oneness is either gonna work for your good, or it's either gonna work for something a whole lot worse than what you started with. So me, I asked a lot of questions when I date people. A lot of people ask me, oh, you're beautiful, why are you single, or whatever. And it's like, because there's a lot of people that I would date, we don't agree. Their views are, way down the road, and my views are way up here. And it's like, if they're here and you're up here, it's never gonna work. I've dated people, I don't want to call them dumb. They're not dumb, I just knew more than they knew. Some people, they've only learned but so much in their life, and they're only going to want to know about so much in their life, and they're only going to worry about so much in their life. Certain things that are important to you will never be important to them. That's one thing to look at, because you want to have a common interest, but not too common because it gets boring. So how I would look at it as the bad things. Take for instance, like this one person I dated, they were really high on the sexual type stuff, and they liked a lot of ignorant things, like stuff that was jokey joke that I just really did not find funny, and I thought was ignorant behavior. And being the type of person I am, I feel you could spend your time doing something else that can help you get ahead in life. If it's not really helping you get ahead, or it's not educating you, or it's okay to have fun, but some fun is just really wasting your time when you get to a certain age. So me, I felt like it was a waste of time, and it was ignorance, and I would never see it as fun. I would never see it as joking or anything. So that's another thing, how you have fun, what you find to be serious, what you find to be disrespectful, what you find to be ignorant, just things that you just will not stand for. You have to make sure that person does not stand for it either, because if they stand for it, then there's going to be another fork in the road there. You're not going to be able to have fun the same way. You're not going to find the same thing serious. And you know, that person might even do something disrespectful, but to them that's not disrespectful because they don't know or whatever. They just know it's common to them. It's something they always do. It's always fun. They didn't mean to hurt anybody. It's just what they're used to. On the spiritual side, though, it says light has no communion with darkness or whatever. And you know, I've talked to a couple of people about that. You know, yeah, people in the world, they may be sweet. You know, you're no better than they are, but you do serve a God and they don't. They just know of him. They don't serve him. You have the comforter. They don't have the comforter. They just have themselves. They're out in the world. They're on their own. You are influenced by God. You are influenced by the comforter. They are influenced by the enemy. Meaning, if the enemy wants to get to you, they're going to go through that person that's in the world to get to you. Because they know that you want that person. You want to love that person. And, oh, if you get to that person and y'all get to a certain level, you might just take off and do great things in the world. So they're going to do everything in their power to make that person in the world agitate you and maybe even get you off your path, or I'm trying to think of my word because I'm doing this all on top of my head, to distract you off of what you're supposed to be doing, or off of what you and that person are supposed to be doing. You know, you could make actually good plans with this person. Oh, we're going to date for this long, we're going to get married, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and you both might very well want to do that, but you, again, have a different influence on your life than that person that's in the world. They don't have a good influence on themselves. Their intentions are good, but that's the thing, they don't have anything behind that intentions because they're in the world. Satan can mess with their intentions and mess up everything, and none of it ever happened or whatever. And my advice was to people like that was just to pray together a lot, because like I said, the person in the world, the enemy can taunt them to get to you or whatever, because he doesn't want the Christian to convert the worldly person. He doesn't want the worldly person to be happy ever. So if he can get both of you, he will. But yeah, as far as the advice on that, I would say no. If you're not a strong Christian, like if you're newly saved, I would not date a person that's not saved, because you're not really strong enough, and they could maybe wield you to the wilderness, and you don't want to go to the wilderness. You want to try to go beyond that. You want to run from temptation, run from anything that could take you away from God or whatever. You would need to build your strength first. But as far as biblical wise, it does say no. But in these days and times, you know, things have changed. People are doing it anyways. But you know, there are certain instances, like my parents, where it does work for you, but he didn't get saved right away or whatever. So you got to think about that. Would you want to wait all those years for that person to get right, or would you rather just find you somebody that's on the same page with you or whatever? And you know, people kind of know what, how can I say it? People kind of know how long it's going to take the person, because some people, it'll take them their whole life till they die to get right with God. I mean, we're never going to get right, but you know what I mean, to actually be committed and want to do right and actually stop doing things with all their might, with all that they can or whatever. And you also have to think about your calling. If you're called to be a minister, you know, you can't have anybody behind you or whatever. If you're called to be a minister, you got to have somebody that's on good behavior, that has standards. You can't have anybody out here and you're trying to talk to people and change their lives. But I'm at 9 minutes, so I'm going to continue the video on a part 2. Alright, see you then.